Welcome back to Needle Me This. Most people only see tattoo artists through finished photos. What they don't see is how an artist thinks, how their life shapes their work, or what actually matters to them when they're putting something permanent on somebody else. This conversation is less about tattooing and more about the person behind it. Go ahead and introduce yourself, Nick.
My name is Nick Bones. I currently live in Las Vegas, Nevada. About to change. I'm sure we'll get into it. And I've been tattooing for about 21 years.
Yeah. What kind of tattoos do you do?
I do a lot of traditional that skews towards pop culture. So lots of Star Wars, video games, anime, but it's all done in like my twist of a traditional style.
Yeah. So, what kind of drew you to picking those as things to tattoo on people?
It had always been what I drew. It was always what I was interested in. The shop that I apprenticed at, I'm originally from Ohio. The shop that I apprenticed at, the owner was super nerdy. The guy who taught me to tattoo there was super nerdy. We'd like sit around and draw comic books together and like talk about Stephen King books and stuff. So like that's what I thought the tattoo industry was, because that's how like came into it. So it just seemed like that was what I was naturally drawn to. And then as I got out of that, I realized that that's not how most of the industry is, but it was just like where my roots were. So it's just kind of like always been part of my tattoo journey.
Yeah. Would you say it helped you find your people like within the tattoo industry and like finding your clients and people who you want to hang out with as artists?
Absolutely. Yeah. It was one of those things where when you first start tattooing, you're just excited to tattoo.
Right.
So whatever the style is, whatever the subject matter is, you're just into it. Like you're just like, I get to do this thing and people are letting me. So I was like, I would love to be able to eventually focus on the nerdy stuff that I love, but I'll take anything. But I was always drawing it and painting it and trying to push it. And then it took 7, 8 years before I started to get that clientele. They finally started to come around, and now that's most of my clientele. Yeah.
I feel like I'm in that transitional phase of still trying to find my people. And it's like I sometimes I can get lucky with this convention. I found three people to film my
Yeah.
things, but sometimes it can be hard in Syracuse because there's so many people. I mean, you're in Vegas, so you've got like 10 times the amount of
Yeah.
people.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very fortunate that I've been in one spot for so long and I've been working with the people I've been working with for so long that like we all have our little niche, and whenever people come to them and they're like, oh, that's actually more of Nick's thing. Oh, that's more of Dan's thing. So like we all just like feed each other what we like to tattoo, and it works out really well.
Yeah, that's super cool. What shop are you at in Vegas?
It's a shop called Hive Tattoo. Me and my best friend opened it. We built it out like during the pandemic, basically, and then opened very beginning of 2021.
Cool. I didn't know you were an owner of it.
No, I helped build it. So like I help manage it and stuff. It's my friend's shop, but I just kind of
Okay.
I help do everything. So like we built it out together. Like we literally like from day one, like he handed me a key the same day he got a key, and we literally built the entire shop together.
Cool.
So like I'm an owner in everything except for name, you know?
Whatever works, right?
Yeah.
So when someone looks at your work for the first time, what do you hope they feel before they understand it?
When somebody looks at my work for the first time, I hope that I hope that all of my work gives off exactly who I am. Like as soon as you look at it, it gives you the exact indication of what I like, what style I like to do, who I am as a person. Like I try to get all of my art to represent who I feel like I am. Like most of my stuff is like fun and colorful, and most of my work is like kind of friendly subject matter. And that kind of represents who I am as a person.
So what do you care more about right now? The composition, the emotion, or the longevity?
I think probably a combination of the longevity and the emotion, like the way it makes somebody feel when they look at it. Like most of my stuff is pretty stark. Like I don't do a lot of flowy like art that bends with the body. I will draw it to fit a space, but that kind of comes secondary to like getting across what I want it to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm focusing a lot more on like the flow and then the subject matter itself. I
Yeah,
try to
yeah.
get the emotion into it, but sometimes it doesn't come through and it's like, man, it's okay. You can't win them all.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, you kind of have to like give and take where you
You know,
can, and not everything can be.
big masterpiece.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Is there something in your work you've outgrown, but people still associate with you?
I mean, for years and years and years, I worked at a tattoo shop that was like mostly like walk-in base. Like it was like the studio's clients that you got to tattoo, and you were just at the whim of what they wanted to tattoo. And so for a long, long time, all I did was just Pinteresty type stuff. You know what I mean? And then I would get to do some fun, cool stuff. And I feel like I still have a lot of that clientele. Like I always kind of described it affectionately as kind of like soccer mom core. That was a lot of my clientele. So I was doing lots of butterflies and Pinterest stuff, but I would do my twist on it. And they would kind of let me have free reign on it, like as long as the subject matter was the same, but it wasn't what I was like in love with. And I still keep in contact with those clients and they still come to me. And so I still do a lot of just like popular tattoos. And I feel like I've kind of like, I don't have to anymore, but I've been tattooing these people for 15 years. So I'm not just going to be like, nah. So I'm just like, I don't care. Like I've been friends with you forever. Yeah, I'll tattoo whatever.
Sometimes they will transition into like something that you're more into. Like, hey, I've been tattooed by you so long, whatever. I want something by you, like
Yeah.
true ones.
Yeah.
Sometimes it just takes that little extra time, I feel
Exactly.
like.
And the whole time they're sitting there getting tattooed by me, there's 70 pieces of my flash of the
Right.
stuff that I want to do, like right in their face every time. So
I'm the same way.
eventually I can get through.
I got everything on the walls. That's all they can stare at. Do you think artists hide behind style sometimes instead of taste?
I think I wouldn't say hide. I think that people get stuck in their style. I feel like it's hard for some artists to feel like they have permission to not do that anymore. Like, I feel like sometimes if you get known for a style and people are coming to you for that style, it's really scary and really hard to be like, all right, I'm going to pivot now. Like, I'm
Right.
going to throw all these clients out the window and like start over or hope that these existing clients are going to transition with me. I feel like that is really easy to get stuck in where all your clientele just wants you to do the same trick over and over.
Yep.
And it's really, really hard to like push what you really want to do.
I feel like that's when the imposter syndrome starts like really kicking in. Like if you're like debating on switching styles and it's like,
Yeah.
I'm not good enough to do this. Like I don't.
For sure. For sure.
I've seen quite a few people post about it. Pamela actually has talked about it quite a bit, how she wanted to
Yeah.
get a little bit more into illustrative kind of stuff, but she does so much color realism. So it's just like, I don't know if my people are gonna follow me.
Right. And they will. It'll just take time, Like I've seen it enough times that if you just commit and you're like, hey, this is what I really want to do. And I'm not gonna stop doing what I did, but I really want to do this new style. Here's 10 designs you can pick from. It will work. And you just have to have confidence.
Right. I'm definitely going through that with transitioning from like strictly neo-trad stuff to more like Japanese influence stuff while
Yeah,
maintaining
yeah.
that neo-trad.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to like sneak it in wherever I can when
Yeah.
people let me. The one I did yesterday, I actually had them as like traditional Japanese maple leaves. And he's like,
Yeah.
I already have those on my other arm. Like I wanted real looking ones. I
Yeah.
was like, we can do that. That's just leaning more into neo-trad. Like I'm good with it.
Yeah.
It was still fun. I got a cool blend and stuff.
Yeah.
So it was really fun to bring together. What's a tattoo trend right now you think clients will regret, not because it's bad, but because it doesn't age, honestly?
I feel like the weird, and it's hard to call it a trend if it's just like a trend on Instagram. You know what I mean? I don't see it a lot in my shop, but
Yeah.
that weird abstract, like almost performative like style, it's just not, people are going to look at that in 10 years and be like, cool, I got like somebody dragged a branch along my arm and then decided to tattoo it and call it art and like just so that they could get a couple likes on Instagram. Those are going to be a lot of regretted and covered up tattoos in the future, I think.
I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
Anytime I see those videos where like they got the machine on a stick and they're just like,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, what are you doing?
And there's a fine line between like a tattooer doing a thing as an experiment
Right.
and somebody trying to get attention doing a tattoo as an experiment. Like it's kind of like it's a fine line between that. Like if there were a tattoo, like one of my dreams is to just do a tattoo because I'm a rock climber 1,000 feet up a wall. I think that would be awesome. But I'm a tattooer doing that. I'm not a rock climber doing a tattoo. I'm a tattooer doing a tattoo while rock climbing. Like I feel like there's a fine line that is kind of getting blurred online where people are just like, well, I got this cool tattoo doing this cool thing. And I'm like, no, that wasn't very cool. Like you're going to absolutely regret that.
Like how is it looking right now?
Yeah,
I think it's gonna look
exactly.
5 years from now.
Yeah.
Not any better.
You're going to have to, every time you show that, you're going to have to tell the story of why it sucks.
Right. What do artists blame clients for that's actually an artist problem?
And I mean, I'm guilty of this too, but being slow. Yeah, it's not, it's not it's not the client's job to keep you busy. It's your job to keep you busy, and I'm very guilty of that. And I don't blame anybody. I just go, "Oh, it's slow right now." And meanwhile, I'm not trying. I'm not reaching out to people. I'm not sending emails. I'm not sending texts. Like, yeah, I'm going to be slow. The economy sucks. It's my fault, but it's very hard to not necessarily take blame for it, but it's very hard to,
Push the blame onto other things like the
yeah.
algorithm not working with me and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
like it's an easy out nowadays
Yep.
where, I mean, when I was starting, it was predominantly walk-in shops, so I didn't have control over it. Now I have 20 years of people I could reach out to, but sometimes I'm just like, I'm gonna have a slow week. I'm just gonna I'm gonna just blame the algorithm and have a slow week and just stay home and do art.
It's basically what I've been stuck in, like, the week coming up to this convention.
Oh
I was just,
yeah,
like, stuck doing, like, nothing, and I was just in my head blaming Instagram and shit, and then
yeah.
I talked to my coach, Mike, and then he's like, "Are we doing this, and this?" And I'm like, "No, I'm drawing."
Exactly. But nobody's coming to look at my sketchbook. It's their fault.
So, you're married, right?
Yes.
How long have you been married for?
We got married last September.
Awesome.
So yeah.
How has being married changed how you approach tattooing and business and life in general?
Honestly, it's been so much better because she's so supportive. Like she's without a doubt my biggest cheerleader. And so she really keeps me organized, especially for like conventions and stuff. Like she helps talk to people while I'm working and gives me, she'll literally like write checklists of things that I can do leading up to, like she's very analytical like that. So it's really, really helped me get my stuff together and get organized while tattooing and traveling and everything. So it's been amazing.
I've noticed that people who are in like steady relationships and their spouse travels with them, like their setup generally like flows better. Like not having to
Yeah.
stop tattooing to talk to somebody and then go back
Yeah.
into it. If somebody wants to buy something, I got to take my gloves off and
Yeah.
to do all that.
Dude,
So it's
it's such a
definitely
game changer.
I've been single for so long, and it's hard for me to contemplate having time to give to somebody else. I
Yeah.
don't want to feel guilty about not being able to give that time to that person. So
Yeah.
I'm just gonna stay single for now.
Yeah.
But it's definitely like hitting hard lately, and I'm like,
Yeah.
"Fuck."
Or eventually you're going to find that perfect person where one, you want to give them the time, and two, the time that you give them recharges you so that you can get back to yourself and doing what you want way more efficiently and with way more passion because you're like recharging with the right person
Right.
instead of feeling like you're being drained and you don't have the energy to do art. Like you're recharging with my wife anyway. Like, whenever I'm around her, I feel inspired. And then when she goes to work, like our schedule works out really well. I work Wednesday through Saturday and she works Tuesday through Friday. So she has Saturday off alone and I have Monday off alone. And then we have 2 days together and then we work the rest of the week. And so it's like the perfect combination of like she gets to recharge one day and then we get 2 days together and then I get to recharge one day and then we go back to work. Like it's the perfect combination.
I also work Wednesday through Saturday.
Yeah.
Now I just gotta find a girl that works
Yeah,
those
there you
days.
go. Put it on your profile. Looking for somebody who works this schedule.
Be like very specific, dial
Yeah.
in on my ideal avatar.
Exactly.
Do you think stability makes art better, or does struggle still have to have a place in your life to
No, stability is the best. It absolutely makes everything flow so much better. For sure. Not even a question.
what's something about being a working tattoo artist that social media completely lies about?
That every tattoo that you do has to be Instagrammable. You can just do a walk-in tattoo and you don't have to, not everything has to be for Instagram. Some tattoos can just be for the client, and that's fine. Not
100%.
every tattoo has to be this incredible masterpiece. Sometimes a little, script name on a wrist makes that client happy, and that's all you have to do.
It pays the bills.
Yeah, exactly.
The biggest thing, I feel like. So how does working in Vegas shape your clientele differently than when you're traveling and finding different clients?
My clientele in Vegas is so like locked in that like I've been tattooing there for 21 years. So like at this point, like all of my clients know what I like to do. Most of them are like my friends now. Like I've been tattooing them for so long that like I'm super tight with them. And when I travel, try to I I put myself out there, but I honestly try not to book appointments. I like to take walk-ups because I don't ever get to do walk-ins at the shop. Like, we have artists for walk-ins, and I try not to take them. And so getting to, like, put myself back in the vibe of, like, "Oh, I have to, like, sell myself to these people who don't know who I am," is, like, kind of fun and, challenging, and I like it.
I hope you caught that. Do you feel pressure to perform differently in a city like that?
Not perform. I'm always myself. So I try not to change myself for the convention. I try to just let people know this is who I am. This is what I like. So that's who I am. If you like it, that's tight. And if not, then there's no pressure on me. Take a sticker. Don't get
Right.
a tattoo. It's fine.
Weeding through the people.
Yeah.
What does Vegas give you creatively, and what does it take it away?
Creatively, my community, the tattoo community is really tight. I worked at one shop for 11 years with Austin at Studio 21. Was there for 11 years, and we did a ton of like art shows. We would do 2 or 3 a year and invite all the local tattooers.
Is that the vinyl thing? Or is
So
that
that's
new?
one of them.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's been going on for a couple years. But we used to just do random art shows. Like, we would do a Halloween art show where we would do like black light art, and we would literally put like black paper on all the walls and change all the fluorescence to black lights through the
That's
hallway.
sick.
And so like we would do stuff like that pretty consistently. And the Vegas community of tattooers, like, once you get to like that level, like, we all know each other. We all came up together, and we're all pretty tight. So we'll get together and do art nights and stuff. And the Vegas tattoo community is pretty legit. Yeah.
I feel like that's what Syracuse is missing, like, so bad. Like,
Yeah.
I'm, like, one of the only ones who's, like, trying to do things there.
Yeah.
It's definitely making me stand out a little bit more, which I can't cry about, but it's like I'm yearning for, like, that kinda stuff,
Yeah.
and it's like I already got 100 things I'm trying to do, so to add even more on top of it, it's like,
Yeah.
somebody else do this for me
Yeah.
so I can just enjoy
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
So, you said your plans were to start traveling a lot more and living in an RV and stuff, right?
Yes.
So let me dive into that. Why
Yeah.
now with traveling?
I've wanted to do it forever. When I was in high school in the early 2000s, I literally was like writing papers about like how I wanted to live in a van and like travel around. And my teachers thought I was insane because it was like the early 2000s and nobody did that. But I've literally wanted to do it for so long. And it's one of those things where in 2018 or 2019, I had the opportunity to buy this van from one of my friends that I worked out with, and he was like, "Yeah, it's just sitting in my driveway. Do you want it?" And it was like a really nice Mercedes Sprinter, which was like my dream van. But I was like, never going to be able to afford that. And so I got it for super cheap. And then I've been like slowly building it. And it's one of those things where like, eventually I'm going to do this thing. Eventually I'm going to do this thing. And then, always put it on the back burner. It's scary to just give up where you live and bail. And then I met my wife, and then I was like, "Hey, I have this idea, like building a camper van," and she was all about it. And as soon as that happened, it's kind of like, okay, let's actually do it. Son moved out and lived with us for a while, and so we couldn't do it then. He's 22, so it's like, he's an adult. But I was teaching him how to tattoo. And so I was like, once he starts tattooing, then he can make his own money and like get his own place, and then we can go. And he finally started. And so like now he just moved out with his friends, and the time for us to move into the van is right. The economy is not the best right now for traveling tattoo artists, but I'm just going to dive in. Like, I've been wanting to do it for 25 years. So
Right. And I think diving into the YouTube and the vlogs and like really getting into your traveling and stuff, like people are gonna love that.
yeah,
That's what's gonna draw more people in because then you can talk more on like interests and stuff rather than just shoving the art into their face.
yeah,
This is what I do every day. Like I'm watching this show, this show, this show, and so I'm influenced by this show, this show, this show. So you want
yeah,
to be tattooed by me?
yeah. I'm really excited for that. We're gonna start a little YouTube van life blog where we travel around to, as I'm doing a guest spot, talk to either an artist or a client or whoever's interesting in that town, and talk to them about just why they live there and their history in the town. And then I want them to take us to their favorite thing in town, wherever we are. And it'll be like a fun little like tattoo slash family slash travel show.
Yeah.
I think that'd be fun.
Have like little mini series. So what are you hoping changes by leaving Vegas and working in so many different places?
I am ready to be re-inspired. I'm ready. I've been, like I said, tattooing there for 21 years now. And I love it. It's amazing, but I am starting to feel like that stagnant, like in my creativity where I'm like, okay, well, I've been doing the same thing for a very long time. Like I'm ready to be re-inspired by all the artists that we're traveling around to go work with.
Are there certain artists that you were trying to travel to actually learn from, like learn different techniques? Like, is there a different style you're trying to push into that you're utilizing the travel to enhance that study?
Not like a specific style, but I'm ready to I've worked with the same people for so long that I'm ready to see just other things that people like techniques that they use and like how they approach their tattoos and their designs. I'm really excited to just work with new people in general. There are a few I talked to Timmy B while we were here and he said that if there's a spot open like when I'm in town, like he would do that. I would love to work, just stand over him and watch him tattoo for a week. Like, I think that would be really cool. I don't tattoo his style at all, but just watching him work is like so inspiring. And then there's a few tattooers up in Tacoma that I really want to go visit who just are doing the coolest, just most simple traditional things. And I would love to just be inspired by that and like dial my stuff back even one more step. I think that would be incredible.
Timmy B, I watched him at a couple different conventions now, and he just let me kind of watch him work and stuff. And the piece he was doing yesterday was it was at the end of the day, so he was on to the white, and I was like, "Oh yeah, you're almost done. The white is the telltale." And he's like, "Not for me. I started with white. Jokes on you." And I was like, "What do you mean?" He keeps everybody on their toes. He
Yeah.
didn't even have a light on him or anything. Just like basement tattooing,
Yeah,
basically.
he's great. One of my really, really good friends has like a ton of tattoos from him and like is very inspired, like tattoos in his style. It's it's so cool. Like every time I see him, I'm like, let me see it. How's it aging? And it's
Right.
beautiful and perfect.
So many of the people I went and learned from, like Gian Parlay and
Mhm.
Mason Shimado, they were both, Timmy B was big influences in both
Yeah,
of their
yeah.
lives. So I was like, okay, well, if they're influenced to get to the point where they're at now, and it's like two different, totally different things,
Yeah.
but like they utilized him so much. I was like, I gotta get some info from
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, for sure.
What do you think artists misunderstand about going to a guest spot?
I don't want my guest spots to seem like a money grab. I really am traveling to get inspired. Our plan is 3 weeks out, 1 week back in Vegas, and I'm just gonna take care of all my clients. And so I'll be making my money in Vegas, and I want my guest spots to be more about inspiration than about making money.
Yeah. My very first guest spot, I definitely expected to make a lot of money.
Yeah.
And I mean, I did a couple good pieces, but it wasn't anything too crazy. So it was like a little bit of a downer at the time.
Right.
And then when I went back to do a second guest spot there, I was like, all right, I'm going to book out. Like, I don't want to put this on there, put it on their studio owner in any way,
Mhm.
shape, or form. I was like, I'm coming into their space. I shouldn't expect them to give so much.
Yeah.
So like the second round is definitely a lot more successful going in with that mindset.
Yeah.
And then being able to like learn from everybody there, have chats and stuff, and
Mhm.
a lot of like business things.
Yeah.
So I totally agree with that mindset. What should a client know before getting tattooed by a traveling artist?
I think that they should if you're getting tattooed by a traveling artist, you should know what style they like to do because they're there like, you're there to get tattooed. You could get tattooed by somebody in that studio anytime you want. They're real excited for that answer. I think if you're choosing to get tattooed by a traveling tattoo artist, I think it's important. Like, if I were getting tattooed by somebody who is just traveling to Vegas, I would be really excited to get what they wanted to give. I think that that's, like, pretty important because if they're going out of their way to be in your city, like, it's kind of a cool thing to let them be inspired and, like, kinda not
Easter time.
pigeonhole them into, like, the exact thing, like, you can get a tattoo from somebody in that studio anytime you want, but if you're getting tattooed by somebody who's only there for a short time, it's kind of cooler to just let them do their thing. Yeah.
So you said that you're going to be gone 3 weeks, then back 1 week. Are you
Mhm.
planning the 3 weeks all in one place, or are you planning to go to multiple places during those 3 weeks?
It kinda depends on the place. Some of them I plan on being in just, like, one spot the whole time. Ohio, where I'm from, I still have all my friends back there, so I'll probably be there for a while.
What area
Um
of Ohio?
Near Cincinnati, so, like, the southwest corner, so between Cincinnati and Columbus.
That's where I was last time I was in Ohio getting tattooed by Levi Murphy.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Came
yeah.
out for a guest spot. So I've only explored Columbus and What's the other C? Cleveland.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Haven't made it up to Cincinnati yet, though.
Yeah. So yeah, that's where I like was born and raised. So all my friends and family are all still back there. So I know I could like chill there for a while and still do okay. I had a friend who just did a guest spot in like Salem, Massachusetts for like the whole month of October because it's so busy there.
Right.
And so I plan on kind of doing the same thing. Like, all right, well, I want to be where it's Halloween, like deep Halloween for like
Right.
a month and just like work there for a month. So
And I've also heard, that's funny you bring that up. I've heard so often that everybody hates when everybody comes to Salem in October.
right. I know.
But
Like,
it's
well,
like,
I'm
it's
gonna go
never gonna
capitalize
stop.
on that.
But if you guys don't want it, I'm gonna take it.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, there's a few places that I plan on being like for longer stints, and then sometimes it'll be like a week here, and then honestly, like the good thing about the way we're gonna travel is my wife is gonna work remote, so she can work anywhere. So it doesn't really matter where we are, and I don't have to make a ton of money the whole time, so I can make my money in Vegas, and then we can just take a week in a national park and chill and rock
Right.
climb and run and like that's like our favorite thing is like we love just being outside. So being able to just be like, all right, well, we're gonna go rock climb in Yosemite for a week and not tattoo. And
Right.
then like find a shop near there and tattoo for a couple days and then disappear again and like actually take time off
Yeah.
because all of our bills are like $400 a month when we're in the van.
Yeah.
So like it'll actually be nice to be able to like just disappear for a couple weeks and then do a guest spot and then disappear again and then show up in Vegas and then disappear. So like that's the dream.
It'd be really cool if you like on those days where you are feeling like you want to disappear to like hate something in a national park,
Totally.
and then like that could be another revenue
Yeah,
coming in. So you're not
absolutely.
stressing, you're still just enjoying your time
Yeah.
with you. It's like I made this.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, that's the dream is like the travel is to inspire my creativity. So like being able to just, roll up and just be like, all right, well, I'm just gonna paint right here and then do a video of me just like painting with
Yeah,
like a river in the background. Like,
it's so peaceful. I love
yeah.
that shit. Quick hot take. Should every client get exactly what they want?
No, they should get they shouldn't be pushed away from what they want, but they should get a version of what they want that will work. Like it may not be exact, but I think that their input should be taken into consideration.
Yeah, 100%. That's how I approach all of my consultations. Like they'll send over like a couple photos, whatever. Like
Mhm.
I want this, and I was like, well, that's cool.
Yeah,
I was like, I'm sitting here thinking designs all day long and shit. I
yeah,
was like, my brain's pretty creative versus what you're finding on Pinterest.
yeah,
So I'll send them over a couple versions I find on my
yeah,
Pinterest because it's just way more
yeah,
refined.
yeah,
And I'm like, what do you think of this?
yeah,
Like, mind blown. Like,
totally,
I'm
yeah.
also going to draw you something custom. So I'm not copying this
Mhm.
either. So, like, let's tie the two concepts together.
Yeah.
Everyone's always happy.
Yeah. And it's easy to forget that not like most of our clients aren't artists. So they don't know what's possible. So they just see a thing and they think like, oh, that's a cool tattoo. And then you go, really? But check out what that could be. And they're like, oh, I would have never seen that because that's not how my brain works.
Right.
And you're like, well, that's why I get paid to use my brain this way.
Do tattoos need meaning forever?
No, they don't need meaning for any time.
Yep.
I have all kinds of silly tattoos. I have meaningful tattoos, but not every tattoo has to have meaning at all.
100%. I think there's this like big movement to more like decorating the body versus the meaningful. And I'm
Yeah,
always all for the storytelling, meaningful pieces. I
totally.
like building like big panels based on a
Hmm.
single like idea kind of thing. But it's also cool just throwing like big flowers on like a full arm and shit.
Totally. Yeah. Like I have a plunger tattooed on my calf. There's no reason for it. Like I just thought it was funny. So I got it. Like I think that's just as valid as, the memorial tattoo that I have for my dog. Like
Right.
I love both of them equally.
Mhm.
So yeah, not every tattoo has to have meaning.
Can't say I love all my tattoos equally. I feel like it's always my newest one. That's my like
Yeah.
favorite. And then I get another one and that one gets pushed to the back.
Yeah.
It's like old news. What's a tattoo you loved doing because it meant something for the client, even if it wasn't your favorite usually?
I do a lot of like memorial tattoos for people's pets because I just had that community in Vegas. So I've done a lot of those and like seeing the emotion on somebody who just like lost their pet and then gets to like have their pet re-alive with them for the rest of their life is like always super, super emotional. And that's like one of my favorite things.
Clients often like break down in your chair when you're getting that memorial piece.
Yeah. It's pretty common. Like once it's done, they'll usually like, especially with that style of tattooing, like it's kind of like ugly, 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 amazing. So like they're kind of looking at it the whole time and I like feel like the anxiety on them. And then like at the end they look at it and it's like one, the emotion of losing their pet and then like getting it brought back, like getting to see it again. And then the fear of like, what did I do while during the whole process? And then at the end they see it and then there's just like this wave of emotion of like
Mhm.
joy that they like, yeah, a lot of the time they break down. Yeah. It's very common.
I always love when it happens. Like obviously I don't want anybody breaking down, but
Totally,
like it
yeah.
makes us feel like we did such a good job.
Mhm.
Like I feel like I always put my all into them. I put my all into everything, but
Yeah,
especially memorial pieces. It's like
totally.
you need it there.
Yeah.
So it's just like I know you're crying right now, but I'm happy that you're so happy. I'm
Yeah.
sorry that you're sad.
Yeah, exactly. It's very tumultuous.
What do you think tattoos are actually doing for people?
I think they do different things for different people. I think some people need them at a certain time in their life, and I think some people just need an escape, and I think some people just want a tattoo that looks cool. Like, I think that it can kind of do what it needs to do for the individual clients.
I've been leaning into the confidence building and like feeling like a badass or like a bad bitch kind of energy.
Mhm.
And I feel like that's been pulling in the kind of people for me.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
they're as excited about everything as I am. And it's like,
Totally,
I just
yeah.
want to talk about it all the time. And so do they. So like when they get the chance to come in for the day, they're like, I could talk tattoos all day.
Yeah, yeah.
One final question. If
Mhm.
somebody's listening to this episode thinking about getting tattooed, what do you want them to understand before they ever walk into a studio?
Man, I want every client who walks into a studio, I want them to have done research and not like a ton of research, but I want them to all think about what they could stare at for the rest of their life. And they don't have to have an idea, like an image in mind, but having like something that they've already thought of that will bring them joy for the rest of their life. And then when they walk in, they're like, I don't even know what image I want or anything like that, but I want something like this. If somebody walked into me and they were like, yeah, I want something in this vibe and just kind of described like the feeling they wanted their tattoo to bring them, I think that would be like a really fun way to approach a tattoo.
Yeah, thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining me today, Nick. It's been a blast hanging out with you this weekend.
Yeah, man.
And as always, fresh ink, fresh clarity, mild trauma. See you next episode.